It's my pleasure now to introduce you, perhaps once again, because this is our second chat with Nicole Rolet of Chêne Bleu, and it's so great to see you.
Ian, it is such a pleasure to be with you, one of my favorite people in the whole wine world.
Oh, you're so kind. I'm such a fan of your brand and the wines that I've been able to visit with. We proudly carry a few from Chêne Bleu on our website, and it's such a great story, and you're such a great storyteller. So, of course, we're going to start our Stars of the Rhône Valley off with a visit with your beautiful white wine. All right, so we are now in Ventoux with Nicole. Nicole, you're there now, right at the estate?
Absolutely. This is a real bookshelf, not a virtual background.
And Ventoux is not a place that many people have heard of before, but you're in a very significant upper corner, right next to Gingodas at around. I'm sorry, I just tried to annotate that. Right around 1,800 feet, 2,000 feet in elevation, which is quite high, and up here in the corner. So it's quite a project that you have, and quite an opportunity. And I've been reading about you for years, and being able to meet you now on Zoom this for the second time. Truly coming to appreciate the significance of your project.
That's an understatement, yes, project with a capital P, because it was completely abandoned way up at the top of this mountain in a little mountain saddle. It's a very, very special place. Uh, More than 1,000 years of history, but you take this little winding road to the middle of nowhere, and just when you think nobody could possibly live that far from everyone, that's when you get to our vineyard. So it's all about that elevation. It's very exciting to be there.
And Bill is here to taste with us the Chêne Bleu Aliot Blanc, and or Aliot, no T, correct?
That's right. It's named after an ancestor of the property, Aliot de Montvin, who in 1427 changed it to a glass blowing workshop, hence the name.
Wow. There's always so many great ideas. I think we'll talk over the top of the tour of your estate. I'll probably have a little music for just a second. There we go. Elevation, historic property. And you guys acquired this property in what year?
About 25 years ago, and it was no water, no electricity, just a giant fig tree growing through the living room with big hole going up to the sky, 2 meters of petrified sheep dung. It was really something else. It took us forever to fix it up, but look at that amazing nature. I mean, the biodiversity is off the charts there, and I think that's our secret weapon. Being so far away from civilization, having that fabulous forest around us in the heart of that UNESCO biosphere reserve with so many species. The biosphere has 1,400 species just of butterflies, to give you an idea. And so it makes everything possible because you don't have to use chemicals. You just have nature on your side.
So there were not vines here, or there were vines here when you acquired the property?
They've been tending it since the Middle Ages, on and off. We had Templar monks and these old vines that we were able to take over, which started off when they say on this 25 and 40-year-old Grenache and Syrah, they're actually like 78 years old now. It's really amazing. So that's just a gift from God to have this incredible ancient vineyard to work with its historic site. And as you know, there was such an exodus to the valley. Late 50s, everybody with tractors, mechanization, creation of cooperatives. So they just abandoned these amazing historic properties, and you can buy them for a song still today. I think it's one of the reasons that it's such an up and coming region, and that so many people are getting so excited about the Ventoux. And it's the new hot thing, certainly in our area, but for France in general. It's because you can find these extraordinary micro terroirs with microclimate, microgeology, and make some very distinctive wines there.
Amazing. I think a lot of people are paying attention to that idea. There's a lot of Californians that have been finding new places to work in faraway places, whether it be Portugal or Spain. Maybe maybe that's a good idea for Ventu, is to create a EU citizenship opportunity for U.S. Investment.
I love that, but I definitely would help and encourage anybody who's looking for a rock star vineyard at a very rock bottom price to come see, because it's a very exciting place to work.
Beautiful. And obviously, you've got all of the ingredients, soils, and the strata, the microbiology that you've been discussing, and the history, and this amazing natural preserve that you find yourself in. And honestly, when I first heard of you, it was in doing some research about the kind of natural, organic, biodynamic movements that were taking place maybe a decade ago. And that's when you first came onto my radar. And obviously, you were positioning yourself to be an elite brand in an area of rapid development. And it appears that you've been successful to make that kind of impression on the wine world.
Well, the credit goes to my husband, because he was all about sustainability and biodiversity 25 years before everyone, before it was a hashtag. And it's certainly not to my credit. I was from Manhattan. All I knew about biodiversity was pigeons and rats and cockroaches. So it was really a big stretch for me to become accustomed to this very wild environment. But I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything now.
And before wine, what kept your interests? What were you involved in?
I was mainly in think tanks and certain parts of international finance. I was a bit of a nerd, really. And so wine was surprisingly good to be a nerd, because you can never stop learning. There's so much you need to know, and your curiosity can go in every direction, and it's just like putting your finger in the plug. So it's a fascinating profession. And if anyone enjoys drinking wine but is thinking about making it, I really recommend it highly.
Beautiful. Well, the home itself looks significant, beautiful. And you're saying a tree was growing out of your roof when you bought it?
Yes. Well, it was from the 9th century, and they had these vaulted rooms that were full of character, but in terrible shape. And so it took a lot of work to make it functional, but we decided to really try to keep that architectural cohesion and bring back as much of the original historic imprint as possible, and then put in all the creature comforts. So we made it into a big ecotourism destination. We do wine tourism, we do all sorts of things there, and you should definitely come and stay with us.
And this cellar is in at that property as well?
Yes, we have the true luxury of having lots of little tanks instead of a few big ones. And this picture doesn't show it all, but we do have many different styles of tanks. So that's very exciting for blending, because it allows us to do micro vinifications, to be really tailor-made to not just the vintage, but also the specific geology of all our little subplots. You saw that cross section. We have on the edge of the tectonic plate access to Jurassic, Triassic, Cretaceous right in our vineyard, because we're right at the top of that picture. And so you can see all these different strata of geology, and by doing this very careful small batch vinification, it can be extended to the barrel room as well, and we can continue that work with the barrique. So that's really fun and hard, but exciting.
Well, it is always fantastic to catch up with you. This is does not give us justice to talk in such a short window, but you're fascinating. Your brand is beautiful, and I encourage everyone to check out anything that says Chêne Bleu on the label. And hopefully, we get a chance to see you soon on our visit to the Rhône Valley in April.
I can't wait for you guys to visit, and thank you for the kind words. It is a labor of love. It is a work in progress, but couldn't be more excited about what lies ahead.
Wonderful to spend this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks again, Ian. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Bye, everyone.